Good morning, dear students. How are you all? I hope very fine. Okay, so let us continue our class. By now we learnt about nutrition in plants. Okay, plants, they manufacture food, they utilize it for their own self and for their own basic activities, and rest whatever is left which is not being used by them gets stored in their body, in their parts, different parts. Like it can be stored in leaves, it can be stored in stem like sugarcane, it can be stored in the roots. Now, for what is this purpose behind storing it? That whenever they require, they can be used. That food can be used in the body of the plant. But besides that, don't you think that we also depend on the plants for our food requirement? So what are we eating? Basically, we are eating that stored food only. So, since long time, human being is dependent on plants for their food requirement. If you have read in your social science, early man used to eat raw food, and by he learned how to be at a place and grow plants of one type and use it for his diet, for food requirement, etc. And then by the concept of agriculture came. So today we are going to study about agriculture. So our next chapter that we are going to discuss in these classes this week, it will be agriculture. Okay. So if I ask you what is agriculture, I think in your mind it will come that growing crops is called agriculture. Only this is it. The definition of agriculture is growing crops. Do you think only crops we are talking about in agriculture? No. Let me give you the well explained definition. Science, it's a scientific process in which, scientific means, you know what is science? Science is about precision and accuracy. Okay, so when we are discussing here about scientific deal, it is a science or scientific ways in which the raising of plants and the rearing of animals for human use is called agriculture. A science that deals with the raising of crops and rearing of animals is called agriculture. Why we are talking about animals? Since very old time, in ancient time, we have seen, like in movies, in some serials, or somewhere like stories, etc. Animals are inseparable part of agriculture. Okay, so that's why we are saying that it is a science which deals with crops, raising of crops and rearing of animals is called agriculture. Okay, now if I say what agriculture, then what all things will come in our mind? Agriculture deals with various aspects. Soil management. What is soil management? Is it like that the soil land is there, we go and throw seeds and start growing the crops? No, it is soil management is preparation of soil. What is preparation of soil? Just to remove the unwanted things from that particular piece of land in which we want to grow the one type of plants called crops. Then comes crop farming. Second one is crop farming. What is crop farming? Growing and harvesting crops. Growing means in a sequence how the plants are grown, then how they are taken care of, and when they grow, they mature, then we have to reap it, we have to harvest it. So crop farming includes growing and harvesting crops. Then next comes horticulture. Horticulture, Horticulture. Horticulture. What is horticulture? It is basically growing and harvesting of fruits, vegetables, flowers and some decorative plants. So horticulture deals with the growing and harvesting growing and reaping of fruits, vegetables, flowers. You might have seen the some people, some farmers, they grow only different type of flowers only. Maybe that rose flower, maybe marigold flower, sunflower. So these are different because they are either grown for some oils or they are grown for some decorative purposes only. Flowers and some decorative plants also. That includes horticulture. Then next comes animal husbandry. Animal husbandry. What is animal husbandry? It is again a scientific way of science that deals with breeding and raising of livestock. Breeding and raising of livestock. What do you mean by breeding? Breeding means that the animals, livestock means the animals that we are using in our fields, just like the ox and male buffaloes, they are being used over there. Since ages they were in old time. What used to happen? They used to be beast of burden they used to carry some load, or they were used for the, like ox, they were used for what? They were used for preparation of soil, etc. Okay, so just like plowing and all. So this also is part of agriculture. So these are the four aspects. What are they? Soil management, crop farming, horticulture, animal husbandry. These are the four aspects of agriculture. Okay. Now, I think it is clear to you that four aspects. So there is a question, what are the four aspects of agriculture? They are: number 1, soil management; number 2, crop farming; number 3, horticulture; and number 4, animal husbandry. Now, let us come to the concept of ancient agriculture, how it used to take place. Just keep on exercising your brain and remember what used to happen in ancient agriculture. If you have seen some movies and all, in that you can see that how a person used to take one pair of oxen were there, and they were just being used for what? Various soil preparation activities like plowing. Okay. After that, what was done? They used to carry a bag of some this maybe fertilizer or manure, and they are just broadcasting seeds. How they are being, seeds are again being thrown, and broadcasting of seeds for growing. And irrigation, how it was done? It was like a very huge well used to be there, and in that a very big wheel which contained some buckets or some containers. They got inside, water wheel we call it, and in Hindi it is called rahat. Okay, so that wheel is driven by a oxen. Okay, pair of ox. So they used to move in a circular manner, and that wheel used to move. It goes down in the well, the containers get filled up, and then they come upside, and when they start again with the cyclic process, the water is poured into a particular part called hose. Over there, it is, the water is put in that, and when the water comes in that, after that it is channelized into the fields. So it's a time consuming process. So these were the aspects of the ancient agriculture. But if we talk about modern agriculture, what do you think? Is it same or it has changed? In ancient agriculture, there used to be also a thing that was like very time consuming, the harvesting of crops. Many people, they used to go in field, they used to have some old type of tools for cutting or harvesting the crop. Okay, like sickle and all. And after that, what they used to do? They used to make bundles, and then they used to pound on some stone, and the threshing means separation of grain from the chaff was done. So it was all very time consuming. And during the meantime, what used to happen? Maybe some natural things like weather or climatic changes take place. There is maybe a heavy rain, downpour of rain and all. And what will happen? Whole of the things will go in vain. Okay. So, in ancient time, the agriculture was, though it was being done, but it was at the state, or it was always at risk. Okay. But now as the time passed, what happened? As the time was passing, what happened? The agriculture also got modernized. Modern agriculture came in picture. What was it? Like the tools, etc., or the manpower has been replaced by machines. Okay? The tools that we were using have been now mechanized. Machines are there, just like tractors, combine harvesters, etc. Within 1 hour or so, one field is done. It is harvested. Okay. Then irrigation methods. Various irrigation methods have been used, just like sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation, just to minimize the loss of water and all. So that, like if we talk about the ancient method, the water was flooded in the fields and the water was wasted also as well. So nowadays we are using such type of methods which are minimizing the loss of water, and appropriate irrigation of water is going on, of crops is going on. Then next is the yields or the varieties that we are using in our fields of the crops. They are pest resistant. What do you mean by pest resistant? Insects are there, pests are there which spoil the crops. They will do what? They are going to cut the leaves, they will keep on eating and make holes in the leaves, or they will cut the edges of the leaves, or maybe when the plant is or the crop is in very young stage, the stem is very soft, it can also be eaten. So what do you think? The pests, are they going to allow the crops to grow? No. So not only this, after harvesting, some insects, some rodents, some other organisms, animals, they try to spoil the harvested crop or the whatever the grains that we have. So varieties of crops have been made in such a way that they are resistant to pest activity. Besides that, some varieties of the plants or the crops have been made which are going to yield high yielding varieties. Means they are not going to be like the ancient, that very small quantity of yield would be produced. They are going to produce high yield. So this is also one of the aspect of the modern agriculture. Then comes pesticides. We are using some sort of chemical substances which will kill the pests. So pesticides are being used. Then in earlier time, people used to depend only on manure. Manure is a very good thing it's a very good substitute for the plants, crops to grow. But they are very, very less in some particular nutrient. So now in modern era, what is being taken place? Fertilizers. Means they are rich in particular nutrients. So fertilizers are also used in modern agriculture. Then comes soil type. The crops are grown according to the type of soil. Like if we have a soil which is suitable to grow only wheat and other crops cannot grow. So we have this option that we will grow only wheat, okay, or some other which can be appropriate for any other crop. So soil type also is a part of modern agriculture. Besides that, climatic conditions, weather and climate, what kind of weather or what kind of climate is suitable in a particular topographic condition. So that also, after studying, the farmers, they are using this also as a tool of modern agriculture. So all these things, like, let me repeat, tools, irrigation, pest resistant and high yielding varieties, soil type, fertilizers, pesticides, these are the different parameters that are being used by the farmers